Well, as the fallout hits the White House, the US president is heading out the door. Donald Trump will be visiting France on an invitation from its president. The two leaders have differed sharply, but they may be putting that aside for Bastille Day. Melissa Bell joins us now from Paris with more on that visit. President Trump, Melissa, no doubt pleased to get out of the US and escape the heat here, but there will be a lot of people watching this visit for a whole lot of reasons.
That's right, for very different reasons. What's of interest on this side of the Atlantic is whether Emmanuel Macron is going to be proved right. His theory, the one that he's testing with this visit, is that despite all the differences between Europe and the United States on a whole variety of issues at the moment, that there is some room for dialogue, and that in a sense, by reaching out an outstretched hand, that dialogue can start and perhaps even make Donald Trump shift on a number of positions. And this is a measure of how ambitious Emmanuel Macron is, Lynda. He hopes even that there could be some room for negotiation on things like climate. So Emmanuel Macron's position is quite different to some of his other European partners, in particular the German Chancellor, who's essentially written off the relationship between the United States and Western Europe, saying after the G7, you'll remember, that essentially Europe is going to have to go it alone, given the current American president's view on things. Emmanuel Macron doesn't take that view, but this will be once again the two men coming up face to face against one another, this time though with the French president determined to try and find some common ground between them, Lynda.
And Melissa, the first time we met, we saw that memorable bone-crushing handshake as these two alpha males sized each other up. Just explain for us what they have in common and where they differ in terms of their personalities.
You're right, Lynda. Emmanuel Macron has been very forthright, almost belligerent at times, when he's come up against Donald Trump. There was the handshake, there was the time the Americans withdrew from the Paris climate change, and Emmanuel Macron twisted Donald Trump's campaign slogan, urging the world to come together in order to make the planet a better place, to make it great again. And just recently, these last couple of days, on the Olympic bid, Paris is facing off against LA. Emmanuel Macron once again making a very political speech about why the Olympic values essentially were better represented these days by France than by the United States. So he's been extremely forthright in his opposition, and there is something between them that is quite similar. You're talking about two newcomers to politics who've shaken up the system as they went, whose political gambles were believed to have been impossible when they started out, and who are now in power and doing what they set out to do, which is shaking things up. But of course, what divides them is so much more substantial. It is profound ideological differences that for the first time since World War II fundamentally divide the United States from Western Europe. So Emmanuel Macron's gamble is that by inviting Donald Trump here to what will be an extremely military occasion, not just the parade down here on Friday morning to mark the 14th of July celebrations, Bastille Day, the celebration of the French Revolution, but also tomorrow he'll be taking Donald Trump to the Invalides. They'll be visiting the tomb of Napoleon, the tomb also of the man who led Allied forces on the Western Front in World War I, because this will also be the 100th anniversary, Lynda, of the American entry into World War I. And so a sort of reminder to the American president that history binds the European continent to the United States, as had ideology until very recently.
All right, an important visit just ahead. We will speak to you soon. Melissa Bell, thank you very much.